Yeah, mate, things are good. The vibe is good. No injuries or illness or suspensions or anything that I've been made aware of. Everyone's just eager to get the opportunity again to pull on that great jersey, and obviously the circumstances we're in, looking to finish off the job.
We know how fiercely proud you are of the role that you hold and the journey that you've been on. How incredible is it from a personal point of view, if we could indulge you for a moment, that, you know, World Cup qualification hopefully is going to be sealed on the day that you bring up your 100th Socceroos cap?
I mean, achieving a monumental feat like a World Cup qualification, given obviously the adversity you face in qualifying for them. I've obviously been fortunate enough to be part of a few campaigns now, and it's no easy task to qualify the nation for a World Cup, and to be in the position we are right now, being a strong one. To go and have it right on our fingertips right now, it gives meaning to us footballers as to why we want to play, and it's the most fulfilling and purposeful thing. When you've got that success at your fingertips, and you obviously want to take that final last step to go and achieve it. And I mean, yeah, obviously you mentioned there, you've selected to play. It's obviously my 100th cap. I mean, without trying to sound cliche, I'm not treating this game any different to how I treated my first one or my fifth one or my 10th, 50th, whatever. I think that's what the jersey deserves. Any time that an individual gets the opportunity to pull that jersey on and represent our great country, it just demands the utmost dedication and sacrifice and every other aspect to earn that right to be out on that pitch to wear that jersey. So in that regard, I'm just approaching it as any other game, and just trying to create another lifelong memory through having a good win against obviously a good opposition in Saudi Arabia away from home.
Vince?
Thanks, Maty. G'day, Maty. I believe you were on the bench, mate, when the Socceroos last lost a game by 5 goals or more. That was one of the 6-0s at the end of Holorosek against France. Is there any universe in which you could see anything like that happening in Jeddah on Wednesday morning our time? And what is it about the mentality of this team at the moment, assuming that you can rule it out, that gives you so much confidence?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, actions speak louder than words. So we've got to go out there and finish off the job. I mean, in life, anything is possible. So you can't take anything for granted, and by no means is the job finished. And we want to continue the momentum that we have. I mean, momentum in life and in football is an incredible thing. I've witnessed both positively and negatively momentums in regards to results and performances in football, and we're on a great run at the moment, and we want to continue that. I think it's I think it's important that we just stay focused and stay present in what we're doing at the minute. Obviously our principles and and our characteristics as a team in what we're focusing on are bringing the results at the moment. So I believe we just need to continue to tap into that, and then the results will come. So that's all we're focusing on at the minute. Like I said, we've got a great opportunity to continue our unbeaten and winning momentum tomorrow night, and that's going to be the focus of the team.
And obviously, every game you play, you're going to be playing against a team that wants to beat you by scoring goals. But is anything different when you know that the other team has to beat you by multiple goals, like the Saudis will have to?
I mean, perhaps it's a personal thing, but for me personally, like I said, every match that I prepare for, I'm trying to prepare to help the team that I'm representing, beat the opposition. So in that regard, for me personally, nothing changes. Like I said, I just want to go out there. We're all competitive in here. I mean, the chit-chat amongst the boys, is that, it's a great opportunity for us to go out and earn another cap for our nation, and to to secure a qualification by beating Saudi away would be the perfect way in order to do that. So that's what we're fully focused on at this minute.
Marco?
G'day, mate. Well done on the impending milestone. Hey, mate, what do you remember about your debut against North Korea, I think 13 years ago, and did you ever imagine then that you'd be on the verge of 100?
Probably remember being a young, raw kid back then. I remember it being there in Hong Kong. There's obviously been a lot of time that's passed since then and today, so the memory's a little bit hazy. But upon the kind of not so often or frequent moments that you get to reflect, obviously a dream come true that evening, putting on that jersey for the first time and having that emblem there. No doubt a special moment. I remember trying to capture a few photos on my phone pre and post game, thinking obviously how cool this is, and pinching myself moments and that type of stuff. And then I guess it's been a journey from there until now, and I guess growing up and going on this journey and learning things along the way. I've quickly learnt that in order for me to live my best life and have my best career and all those types of things, you're always constantly resetting goals. Once I guess a goal has been achieved, or something you've been working towards has sort of come and gone, you're always then focusing on what's next, and you remain hungrier than ever. I mean, you get that taste of success that we've had in the national team, through World Cup qualifications, Asian Cup, winners and these types of things, and that's the motivation that fuels you to want to achieve more and more of that. That ecstasy that you get from being a group sitting down together at the beginning of a chapter, and setting yourselves goals and all these types of things, and that moment that comes where you achieve that. I mean, there's no better feeling. As a footballer, it's the most purposeful and fulfilling thing that we can do, whilst we're in here representing our great nation. And I just try and replicate that as much as I can, because, like I said, there's no better feeling in life than that. So we've got an opportunity to do that again tomorrow night, and you try and talk to the boys here about all the fruits that come from being able to achieve something like that, but at the same time, not allowing ourselves to get carried away, in the fact that we're not there yet and there's still a job to do. So, we're focused, we feel prepared, we feel ready, and, looking forward to, getting it underway tomorrow night and, getting the job done.
And mate, late last year when you got, I think, the 3 games in a row that you were on the bench, were you, how did you feel, and were you worried that, that might be it, or did you always sort of back yourself to get back in?
A little bit of both, to be honest. I mean, there was definitely thoughts that I had there that I could well have played my last game, for the national team. At the same time, obviously staying strong and resilient, a characteristic that I think anyone who obtains success in their life, it's a fundamental to be able to stay strong and continue to believe in yourself and back yourself. And obviously the majority of I guess what my process was at that stage was that, but there's obviously also certain uncontrollables. I'm not a manager and I don't make the selections, and I do everything I can to influence the manager to convince him that I'm the best man for the job, but sometimes that's not always good enough, and I've experienced that in my career as well. And like I said, there was a thought here and there that it could well have been my last game. So I'm pretty proud of the fact that I've managed to fight my way back in, and at the same time, I believe as a footballer, no one is ever entitled to playing for a team. You've got to go out there and earn that right every single day on the training pitch, off the training pitch as well, making sure you're doing the right things. And at the end of the day, when you get the opportunity to pull on that jersey and get on that pitch, it's the player's responsibility to make the most of that opportunity and give the manager a reason to not select them moving forward. So I understand my responsibility in that regard, and I think I come from a real grounded, upbringing and background and all that. So I never felt like I was entitled to be playing in any moment. So I think, with that approach, it helped me just get my head down and work harder than ever before, and try to do everything I could to get back in. So I think in scenarios like that, it could have been quite a few players that maybe would have, I don't know, perhaps spat the dummy or, threw in the towel or something like that, and not come back from it. But like I said, my love for football and in our country and our nation, and being out there and contributing to the team, just fueled my hunger and motivation even more to do what I could and tap into my skill sets to try and get back out there on the pitch. And that goes again for tomorrow night. I just try to continue to do my best every day to try and earn the right to get back out there for as many games as I can, and first and foremost for tomorrow night. So fingers crossed I can get that selection and be out there to help the team, and if not, then I'll be there to support whoever gets the nod, of course.
Joanna?
I couldn't hear. Was that me?
Yeah, sorry, yes.
No, you're right. Hi, Maty. Thank you for your time. This, I suppose, is an extension of Marcus' question. You've obviously been really open about, I guess, your frustration at club level. Does that, I guess, make your milestone even more sweeter, knowing that you haven't perhaps had the more ideal platform to showcase your talent, but you're still notching that 100-game milestone for the Socceroos?
I mean, like I said, no one is entitled, you just face your circumstances head on, and I guess as the foundation of my mentality is that, I continue to just meet everything head on and roll up the sleeves and get on with things, with however they are. The other alternative is you give up, and that's simply not an option, So, there's been periods in my career, and I think if you look at perhaps every footballer's career, you look at Cristiano Ronaldo and his time at Man United with, Ten Hag there, he wasn't playing there either, So I don't think life or football discriminates against anyone in that regard, and you all face tough moments, and it's about how you deal with them. So, like I said, I don't feel like, I just turn up and I expect to play, because that's not how it works, and that's how I've come to learn how life and football works. And there was a period at the beginning of this season where I wasn't playing so regularly, and it's obviously frustrating, but it's how you channel that frustration and use it to your advantage moving forward. I just tried to work harder than ever to try and continue to develop in those scenarios. And in the past, I hadn't been playing regularly, yet I'd kept my position in the national team. And to a certain extent, it all becomes irrelevant if you're out there on match day doing the job and producing for the team and the manager and the nation. And that's all I tried to focus on, is controlling the controllables, or focusing on what I can control. And then obviously when windows pop up, like transfer windows and all that, I try and do what I can to find scenarios to go and play more. But it's a fine balance between trying to move too quick and being impatient and all this, and maybe sticking something out to earn perhaps more respect and earn more opportunities that way. So it's a constant, it's a constant challenge in that regard, and you got to back your gut instinct and try and make what you feel is the best decision. And in my scenario recently, it played out in January, moving to Lons and playing a bit more regularly, and I'm sure, no doubt, that's helped me also get more regular playing time here with the national team again. So, like I said, I love playing football, and I try to do everything I can to play as many games as I can and help the teams that I'm representing be as successful as they can, because ultimately that's what gives me the most fulfillment and enjoyment in life.
The boys gotten around you going into Wednesday, or is it business first?
What was the first part of that question? Sorry, have the boys
gotten around you ahead of your milestone game?
There's been one or two mentions about it, but like I said, I try not to sound cliche. Like whether it's my 100th game, 101st, 13th, 17th, whatever, I think the jersey demands and warrants and deserves everyone giving their best account, no matter what the cap number is. To be a professional footballer representing your nation, there's only been 600 odd players to have done that over its history, and out of obviously a country, with the population of 20 odd million for many years. I mean, that's a feat that obviously only a small, minuscule percentage of people ever get to achieve. And so I'm always just trying to give the best I can, and I'm trying to make my next game the best game, for my nation or for whatever club I'm playing. So that's honestly the approach that I take.
John?
Congratulations on the imminent milestone, mate. Obviously, you're still young in goalkeeping terms, but where would this rank? Obviously, you've been part of successful World Cup qualifying campaigns in the past, but given now that you're at the kind of like the middle to the kind of the latter end of your career rather than the start, do you think this could be the high point of your career as a Socceroo if you get the positive result with Need and Riyadh?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm always trying to make the next achievement the best one, and when the day comes where you can sort of reflect on it all, hopefully there's going to be a cabinet or a memory bank full of many achievements and triumphs. That's, like I said, that's what fuels my hunger and motivation to be able to have as many of those, to have no regrets, to be able to sit down one day, with a beer or with the grandchildren, children, and reminisce and tell them about stories and maybe show them some highlights and some accolades that not only myself but the teams that I played for, that we achieved and all those types of things. And like I said, always constantly resetting goals in order to do that, because never being satisfied. In order to try and be the best goalkeeper that I've been, I try and be attentive and read into things. I read books, Kobe Bryant's, Tiger Woods, all these things, and just to get an insight into the mentalities behind them. To try and learn as much as I can to, I guess, emulate what they have kind of done on the in their obviously respective sporting fields. But like I said, there's certain non-negotiables and characteristics in people achieving success that kind of that correlate with one another, that are all connected in order to achieve success. So I'm always like trying to learn and evolve and grow, and like I said, I'm addicted to winning and the constant pursuit of winning and being successful. So I try and leave no stone unturned in order to do that. And of course, I'm trying to make the next achievement the best one yet. So like I said, we've got a job to do tomorrow night, and it's all great sitting here and imagining that it's all going to play out fondly and all that type of stuff. But nothing worth having comes easy, and we understand that we have a monumental task tomorrow night to go out and get the job done and win that game against Saudi to continue our winning momentum and just focused on doing that.
Obviously, your passion and leadership when you're wearing that Socceroos jersey is always on display. It's one of the reasons why you're one of the most popular players in this team. In terms of what you've made of the passion and leadership that Pop was made and brought into the side, how has he struck you as a coach, and has he reinstilled that passion for the jersey that we all want to see out there every game that you guys play?
Yeah, I mean, every manager we've had here in the national team, I think it's fair to say the Australian managers more than the foreign managers that we've had in here, you just notice that they've got that extra special relationship with the jersey. Ange, Arnie, we're also obviously very passionate about the national team, and that was portrayed through their actions and their words and speeches and all this type of stuff. And Tony, since coming in, even to the same degree, you see the way that he speaks about the jersey and what it meant to him as a player and what it means to him today as a coach. I remember when they appointed him and watching his first press conference and interviews and all those types of things, and I think there was a few questions thrown at him around it being not the greatest time to be taking over the realm as the Socceroos head coach because of the circumstances we were in. We didn't start off the group in the best possible way, and we're perhaps behind the eight ball and all these types of things. And I'm pretty sure from the memory of him answering the question, he stopped the reporter in their tracks and was like, hey, every moment to take over the national team, especially the Australian national team, is a great moment. I'm not buying into any of that. It's an honour, it's a privilege to be here, and I can't wait to get to work, along those lines. And from that moment there, I was like, he's someone that's super passionate about not only football but Australian football, and it's just been, on repeat since he's been in here, and every camp that we're in, his demands from us, his requests, his definition of what it means to be in here, his expectations of us, all that. He demands the absolute maximum from each and every one, and that's exactly how it should be.